Hi everyone. I've been thinking recently of a couple of video ideas I've been wanting to do, and one immediately came into my mind, that being to show off my record collection. Been collecting records for a good 2, 3 years now. I'm going to be going over all my records, so any stories behind them if there are any, and yeah, I guess. Alright, so when I do this video, I'm kind of just gonna grab my records from my little box I have of all of them and just show them in front of the camera and talk like this. Just seems like it's an easier setup than anything else, I guess. So, first off, we have some records that I got earlier today. I went thrifting at this place near me, about a town away. First off, what I got was Boston's self-titled album. It's been a favorite album of mine since I don't know, when I was like 7 or 8. I've always loved a lot of the tracks on here. I've always been a big Boston guy. I've always been a big AOR guy, and it's kind of that like earlier rock. Um, so yeah, this is a pretty nice find. I got this for $9. It was pretty cheap. Next up, we have a total steal I got earlier today, which was the Mamas and the Papas, if you can believe your eyes and ears. I love this album. I got it for $1.50 because it was on sale, and it was $3 and it was half off. So this was a very good steal that I got at the little thrift shop, antique store, whatever I was at. And another one I got would be, I think it's called Lark's Tongues in Aspic. I have the shirt on right now of this album, but I always forget the name. I don't know why. But King Crimson, I love King Crimson. I have a couple of their records on vinyl. This was a nice find. Got for $20. Looks pretty nice. Looks like it was well worth the price. So this was a nice find. And then lastly for today, I got Led Zeppelin's. I believe it's called Led Zeppelin 4 or something like that. Either way, amazing album. It's probably their best. I've always loved this album. I love the tracks on it. I love Led Zeppelin. So this was a very nice find. I only got for $20 too. So that was really nice. Next up, we have another antique store I went to a while back. First off, I got Steely Dan. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, I always forget. But it is, of course, their most well-known album. I'm a big fan of it. I listened to it a while back, and it is my kind of thing, jazz, rock, that kind of fusion. I've always loved that kind of genre. Got for $12 too, which is pretty good. Then we have After the Gold Rush by Neil Young. Got this for $8 at an antique store. This was a super nice find. I've liked Neil Young for a while. It's one of his better albums. And then we have The Cars self-titled. I got this for $8 as well. This album is amazing. My favorite Cars album. I just really like it. I don't know. Next up we have Lift Your Skinny Fist Like Antennas to Heaven by Godspeed You Black Emperor. I got this at their live show. I live in Maine. They came to Maine about a month ago now. They went to the Portland State Theater, and I went down there on a Sunday and came to the show, and it was amazing. It's probably my favorite show I've ever been to. It was super nice. They performed amazingly, and I got to get this and a t-shirt from the merch table there before the show started. This was a super nice find. This is my first ever Godspeed You Black Emperor album I've listened to, which I assume is the same for other people. But I love their discography. I've listened to all of it. And this is my only record I have of theirs. Next up, I have 2 copies of this one actually from a little mishap that happened when I got them. But I have Swan's new album, Birthing. I listened to this the day it came out immediately. It's one of my favorite Swans albums. Now, I've listened to every Swans album, my favorite band. And this one was phenomenal. The second I knew it was coming out on vinyl, I had to order it. So this was a really good album to get. I'm surprised it didn't sell out before I got it. So this was really nice. Next up, we have Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly." I adore this album. It's my number one of all time. I've listened to it probably 100 something times. I love Kendrick Lamar. in general, but his album is just amazing. It's better than anything I've ever listened to, and it's probably gonna stay that way for a long time. I don't know. This is just a great record to have. I've bought it in my collection for a long time, and I got it for pretty cheap on Amazon a while back, so that was nice. Alright, next up we have Neutral Milk Hotels in the Aeroplane Over the Sea. This was a nice find. I think I got this online as well, probably from Amazon. I got a bunch of records for Christmas last year, so this is probably where a lot of them are going to come from, is from Amazon. But this is a nice find. This is one of the first albums I ever listened to front to back. And ever since I've listened to it, I've always listened to it very much. It's a phenomenal album. Really got me into the kind of less popular music, more of the indie kind of stuff, more of the alternative kind of sound. Also got me into RYM, which is a big part of my music taste and online presence nowadays, so that was nice. Next up, we have Kendrick Lamar's GNX. I listened to this the day it came out with my friends, and it was a pretty cool experience. Although I don't think the album was amazing, it was still really, really good. And I got this at my local Bull Moose. I think they're only in, Maine and New Hampshire, so. But there's one where I live, and I got this from it, so that was pretty cool. I got this right after it came out, the day or something, or a week after it came out, so this was nice. They have it pretty cheap, $33, it's pretty good. So, next up we have The Smiths, The Queen is Dead. I've been looking for this album for a long time on record or on vinyl, and I found it at a Newbury Comics at the Portland Mall, which was pretty cool. I didn't think I was going to find anything by The Smiths there, so usually it's all sold out, but I found The Queen is Dead, which is a super nice find. I've loved this record. I love The Smiths, one of my favorite bands of all time, so this is a really nice find. I got it for $34, which I think is a total steal. So, then we have Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense. I absolutely love this album. It's in my top 10 or 15, I think, of all time. Favorite live album, probably, besides Fishman's 98, 12, 28, something like that. Either way, that's my other favorite live album, but this one is phenomenal. I found this at a Barnes & Noble in Portland as well for $42, which I think is a really good price. And I think it's a special edition too. Limited edition clear vinyl, so that's pretty cool. I just found this randomly at Barnes & Noble, so that was really cool. Next up we have some Lewis and Keeley. I've listened to a few of Louis Prima's albums before. This one was one of the couple I saw at I was at a Goodwill, and I found a few CDs and some records and stuff. This is one of them, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I picked it up. Not the biggest fan of Louis Prima, but this is cool. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I'm trying. This is a pretty cool find. Got it for only $2 as well, if you can see that. Next up, we have a pre-owned copy of Kanye West's The College Dropout for $20. This is a really cool find. I love Kanye West, and I especially like this album a lot. It's probably my favorite besides Late Registration. So this is a really cool find, especially for only $20. So that was pretty cool. I got that Bull Moose as well. And speaking of Bull Moose, I got another pre-owned copy of GZA's Liquid Swords. This is a great hip-hop album. I'm not the biggest fan of the Wu-Tang Clan, but I like GZA, so this was a really cool find. Not much else to say on that one. Next up we have my other Godspeed You Black Emperor record, which is no title as of 13 February 2024. I found this at Bull Moose once again, while I was shopping one day, and I didn't know they even put this out already when it came out, because it came out right after the album dropped, so I got this right away, which was pretty cool. And this is my first ever Godspeed You Black Emperor record. I'm hoping I can get all their albums on vinyl one day, so this is a pretty cool find. Next up we have Title Fight's Floral Green. I am a massive Title Fight fan. I've listened to them for a long time, one of my favorite bands for a while. This album especially is probably their best or second best behind Shed. I love this album, and I ended up picking this one over Shed because I think I just has more listenability. I think for me. So this is a nice find. I got this on Amazon for Christmas as well. And then I got this for Christmas too, but it wasn't on Amazon. I got it at Target. It is Igor by Tyler the Creator. This got me into Tyler the Creator. I love this album. It's probably my favorite album a good 3 or 4 years ago, back when I started high school. I used to listen to this album a lot. So this is something that's pretty close to me when it comes to sentimental value, my records. This is a pretty cool find. When I saw it, I immediately got it. So yeah. Next up, we have Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies. Probably my favorite EP, if not like at least top 3 or 5. I've always loved Alice in Chains. They're my favorite band, probably, I think, like sophomore year and maybe a little bit into junior year of high school. So, probably my favorite grunge band out of the big grunge bands in the 90s, too. Yeah, it was a cool find. I forgot where I got it. It might have been at Target as well. Let me see if I can. Well, it doesn't say. But yeah, I think this is at Target or maybe Walmart or something like that. But it was a nice find. Okay, this one I know is from Target, and that is Tame Impala's Currents. I've been a big Tame Impala fan since like 2018, 2017, something like that. I've always liked his music. This is the album that kind of got me into him. A few of the tracks on here. So this is a pretty cool find. Not the biggest Tame Impala guy now, but I still like him, so it's pretty nice. Now we have Charles Mingus's The Black Saint and the Sinner Lady. This is probably my favorite jazz album, besides maybe John Coltrane's My Favorite Things. I love Charles Mingus, and I found this at a little like vinyl. It's called the Vinyl Canteen, I think. It's down in Bangor, Maine. I found this there. It's pretty cool. I got for $25, which is a steal in my opinion. So this is pretty cool. Alright, next up we have Fleshwater's We're Not Here to Be Loved. This was one of my favorite albums throughout sophomore year. Once again, even through I think freshman year, the end of freshman year of high school. So I've always really liked this album. The best Fleshwater album in my opinion, even though they only have like, what, 2 or 3 now? So, this is their best sound in my opinion. I wish they'd make another album like this, but you never know. Next up, we have Susie and the Banshees' Juju. This is one of the first ever albums I listened to, back when I first really got into albums, and it's phenomenal in my opinion. It's like an absolute 10 out of 10. I love every track on this record. I haven't listened to Susie and the Banshees much as of late, but I still really like them. And I'll probably have to revisit this album pretty soon. Next up, you have Mazzy Star's So Tonight That I Might See. I found this when I was at Bull Moose with a friend of mine about maybe like a year ago now. And it's really cheap. Got for $28, so that was a nice record. Yeah, I've always liked Mazzy Star, especially this record. This one, and I forgot what the album's called, but the blue one. So, this is a pretty cool find. Next up, we have Dehumanizing and Tatarian Worship. I forgot what this album was called. I think it's called Otaku Anime Side or something like that. Probably. I've always been a fan of Dehumanizing and Tatarian Worship. It's pretty hard to say. I've always been a big fan of them. One of my favorite slam bands. I used to be into a lot of that kind of like anime slam, otaku slam, whatever. So, this is a pretty cool find. I think my friend got me this for Christmas last year. So, that's pretty cool of him. But, yeah. Then we have American Football's self-titled album. I've always loved this album. It really got me into a lot of that Midwest emo and stuff, and the kind of like softer, more moody rock and emo that I'm into a lot now. I don't know. This is a really cool album. I was looking for it like forever, everywhere I went, but I could never find it. So I got this off of Amazon, I think, last Christmas with the other ones. So this is pretty cool to get. Another Bull Moose find is Jeff Buckley's Grace. This was my very first album. I gave a 10 out of 10 when I started getting really into albums a while back. I love this album. I listen to it so much. I'm a big Jeff Buckley guy. I think this is his best piece of work he's ever made. I like his other stuff, but this is takes the cake easily. I've had most of the songs in this album on repeat at some point in time over the past little while, so this is a really nice find. I was looking everywhere for this a while back, and I finally found it at Bull Moose, so this is a pretty cool find. Next up we have a Tribe Called Quest Midnight Marauders. This is my favorite Tribe Called Quest album. I like their other ones a lot too, but I think this is probably the best one by a little bit. Tribe Called Quest is one of the very first rap kind of groups that I got into, rap artists, whatever. So I've always kind of held them pretty close to me when I first got into albums and everything, so this is a nice find. Then we have King Crimson's and the Court of the Crimson King. I listen to this album so much. I am a pretty big King Crimson guy, and this album got me into them. One of the best albums I've ever heard. It's phenomenal front to back. The best jazz rock, everything album. So this is an awesome find I got. It's one of the very first records I actually got when I started like really collecting them. So this is pretty cool. And we have another Kendrick Lamar album, which is Good Kid, Mad City. This was one of my very first albums to listen to as well, alongside the King Crimson album. This is one of my very first 10 out of 10s, and one of my favorite albums for a while. Now it's like number like 8 or 9 in my top 10, but I've always loved this album. I think Sing About Me is one of the best songs ever made, best rap song especially. So this album's always kind of been close to me. So this is a really cool find. I think I got this at Bull Moose. So then we have Melanie Martinez's After School EP. I've always been a big Melanie Martinez fan. So this is a cool find. I got this at Walmart, I think. After School EP's arguably my favorite album or EP or anything she's ever put out. So this is really cool to find. I got this for like $15 or like $20 or something. So it's a big steal. This is really nice to get. Next up we have Joni Mitchell's Blue. I'm not the biggest fan of this album, but I found it for pretty cheap at Target, I think, so I thought I'd get it because it's a cool piece of music history, and I don't like hate it, so I'd listen to it sometimes. One of the first albums I ever listened to as well, so this is a pretty cool find. Then we have Alice in Chains' Dirt. I love this album. It's one of my very favorite rock albums a while back. Like I said before, I've been a big Alice in Chains guy for a while, so this is their best album in my opinion. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have that same opinion. So this is a cool find. I think I got this at like a Walmart, like way out somewhere. I was like on a day trip or something and found this, so that was cool. Next up we have TV Girls, French Exit. I was a really big TV Girl fan a few years back. When they weren't as big as they are now. I kind of got into them a little early. So this is a pretty cool find. I think I got this on like a random website. Maybe their Spotify merch store or like some like weird record place on the internet. I don't know. But this is a really cool find. I think I was going to get their other one. I forgot what it's called, like Who Really Cares or something like that. I was going to try and get that one, but I think it was all sold out. So I went with the French Exit, which I equally like. So this is a really nice find. I think I got it for like only like $15 or $20 too. So next up we have Blink-182's State of Enema. I don't know how to say that word. This is my first kind of album that I listened to. I used to love Blink-182. I still like them quite a bit, but I was a much bigger fan a couple of years ago. But this is a really cool find. I got it at, I think, either Bull Moose or maybe Walmart or something like that. But yeah, this album's always been a favorite of mine. I love the tracks on this one, especially Adam's song is on here. That song is phenomenal. I love that song. I had it repeat for like a year at one point, so this is really cool. Now we have Weezer Blue Album. Ignore the ripped up plastic around it if you can see that. It's an incident occurred with this one. But I used to be a pretty big Weezer fan, I would say, and I feel like this is an album you would find at anybody's record collection, honestly. So this is a pretty cool find. I got it for like 20 bucks at, I think, a Target. So this is pretty cool to have in my collection. Next up we have The Smiths. They're self-titled. This is my first my first record that I got from The Smiths. I found this at, I think, yeah, Bull Moose for 25 bucks, which is like a total steal. I think I got this around my birthday one year when I was out birthday shopping, so that was pretty cool. One of my first records I ever got. So next up, we have Lana Del Rey's Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? This album, I got into Lana Del Rey like quite a bit back in, I think it was like sophomore year of high school. I've always kind of liked Lana Del Rey, and this is one of the albums that came out around the time I got into her, so I decided to buy it because it was on sale, I think for like 30 bucks at Target, and it's like an exclusive Target version, limited edition vinyl, so I decided to pick it up. I think I got it on my birthday as well. I think I was out shopping before my birthday one year, and I got it, so this is a pretty cool find. Now, I'm pretty sure this is either my first or second record I ever bought, and that is the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World soundtrack. I love the movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and I love the soundtrack, so the second I saw this, I think I found it at Books A Million, but the second I knew this was there, I ran to the store, well, drove to the store, and got it immediately. So, this is an awesome find. Really started my kind of record collecting and everything. I used to actually collect a lot of soundtracks, more so than just regular albums nowadays. So I think I have a couple more soundtracks that are coming up. So, but this is really cool. Next up we have Panic at the Disco, Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I love Panic at the Disco so much. I want to get all the records on vinyl, but right now I only have like 2, I think. So, but this was an awesome find. I found this at Books A Million as well, for pretty cheap too. Got this for Christmas a couple of years ago, I think. So, this was a cool find. I've loved Panic at the Disco since I was in like 5th or 6th grade, and I got really into them a few like 6 years ago maybe, and then again recently. So, this was really cool. Next up, we have Melanie Martinez's Portals. I used to be a fan of Melanie Martinez back in like 2019, and then I didn't like her for like 2 years, and then this album right here, when it came out, I listened to it, and it got me back into Melanie Martinez, and ever since then I've been a huge fan. But this album I credit with getting me back into her and becoming like not really a super fan, but a pretty big fan. I got it at Walmart, I think, and it's a limited edition Bloodshot translucent vinyl, and it was only $24, which is a total steal, I think. So, this is a really nice find. Second to last, I have the Real Folk Blues Legends, the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. I think, yeah, all composed by Yoko Kanno, and I think the Seatbelts. So, this is an awesome find. I love the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack, as well as the anime in general. It's one of my favorite animes ever. So, this is an awesome find. I got this at, I think, Walmart for like, I think it was like 40 or 50 bucks. So, which I think is a fair price. So, this is a really cool find. One of my very first records I ever got. So, and then lastly, we have an album that's the record's in a pretty beat up shape, but it is Panic at the Disco's Viva Las Vengeance. I found this in a bargain bin, like a $2.15 under bin, near the Walmart record section in a random super far away Walmart. And I think it was like $1.50 or like $2.50 or something like that, which was obviously super cheap. So this was a really nice find, especially because this had only come out like a year ago when I got this. So this is one of my first ever records I got, and one of my favorite albums, especially for Panic at the Disco. So this is one of my favorite finds I've ever found, probably, especially for how cheap it was. So this is cool. Hi, so I'm recording this outro after I edited the video. My original outro wasn't very good, so I hope you guys liked the video. I'm not really good at talking for long periods of time, if you couldn't tell by the video itself, but I mean, if you stuck around till the end, I'm very thankful. I'd very much appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, all that stuff, and I plan to make more videos like this in the future. Been meaning to upload a lot more music content recently, but I've just had a lack of ideas, but hopefully soon enough I will be getting a lot more videos out. So, yep. See ya.